Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the semi-custom seat covers from Seat Cover Solutions. We're going to see how they fit and how they install in our 2026 Chevy Equinox. And these seat covers from Seat Cover Solutions are really an excellent mix right in between the actual custom seats and a lot of the seat covers that are really almost just kind of a bag that you throw over the seat that fit loose. They don't look very good. They just do a good job of protecting it. These have an excellent, pretty snug fit to our seats today. They don't, however, take all of that time for installation like true custom seat covers do. A true set of custom seat covers, first row and second row, can take all day, up to 8 hours to install and get fitting really, really well. We can get the front row of this done in about 45 minutes. It really doesn't take that long. There's just a couple of attachment points and a couple of tricks in order to get them on. But let's take a look at some of the features. We'll be showing you the installation in just a moment. So one of the things I really like about these is all of the memory foam padding that you get in this. It just adds comfort on top of what your factory seats already give you. These in particular are also perforated, which is going to help out when you have heated or cooled seats. It's not going to dampen the effects of those. Another thing that I love about them personally is this big padding back here for the lumbar support. I've got these in my car, and whenever I'm driving in it for more than an hour, it used to be that I'd get a bit of lower back pain. Nowadays I don't because of this support right here. And it's also going to have a seam on each side of the seats that's going to allow it to deploy the airbags that are there as well. So you're going to get to keep all the functions of your seat while using these. And they're going to be very easy to maintain and very easy to clean because they're made out of an eco leather. This is going to be great for just being able to wipe them down clean. You'll see in the installation that they're pretty easy to take out and put back in if you really want to give them a deep cleaning as well. So I've already hinted at the installation just a little bit. Let's take a look at exactly how we got these in our Equinox today. So starting with the passenger seat here, the first thing we'll do is come back into the back seat, and underneath we're going to find these elastic straps with a clip. There are two of these back here. We're going to undo both of those to start. So with both of those straps undone, the next thing we're going to do is lift up our headrest. Now, Chevy doesn't make these removable, so we're going to be forced to fit our seat cover over the headrest while it's still on here, but we've already done it here on our driver's side, so we know it'll fit. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our backrest cover. Now, these are side specific between driver and passenger side. You can identify them because on the back you'll find a zipper. That zipper should be facing the outside of the vehicle. So we've got the correct one here. Next thing I'm going to do is come up to the top and undo these snaps around the top that'll go around our headrest. And then we'll start working it on to our seat. Now, I would start, rather than pulling it all down from the bottom here, is just kind of working it around our headrest to start. It's a pretty tight squeeze getting around it, but this is a pretty malleable headrest. It's not too stiff. So once we get it down past that point, then we can start working it down from the bottom. And you'll probably end up going back and forth from the front and the back as you work this down. Now this portion is pretty tight, but again, you can kind of squeeze your seat cover to get it to work. Once you've got it worked all the way down, go back up to the top and we can go ahead and engage these snaps up here. That'll keep it in place up here around our headrest. So next it's come time for getting the zipper work down. And as you can see, I'd mentioned it's a pretty snug fit, but what you can do is use one hand to kind of push in on the seat as you work the zipper downward. Again, these seat cushions that are on here aren't too stiff that you can't maneuver them a little bit to get a bit better of a fit. Now at the bottom here, what we've got are these two octagon shaped anchors. And where these are going to go is in between our seat seam. They're going to go in flat like this, and we're going to put them through enough that they'll pop out square again. That's going to anchor the bottom of this in place so it doesn't slip around. But we're just going to go ahead and feed those through. And again, we want to make sure that they get all the way back and pop up to anchor it in. Now, this is a view from the back in the seat seam where we can lift that flap up. And this is how they should be. So they came through straight. We put them through enough that they end up flat, just like this, and that is going to anchor these into place. Now we'll be taking a look at our seat cover itself. So underneath here, we could see that grip texture that's going to keep it from sliding around. On each side, we have a strap that we can detach. This is going to be running underneath our seat, holding it in place. You're also going to notice that on each side we've got these elastic loops with the zip tie attached to the end of it. Now you're going to be tempted to go ahead and cut these off. Don't do that. These do serve a purpose. Their purpose being that they get fed into the side of your seat in between the seat itself and the plastic molding around it. These are on here so that from underneath you're going to be able to pull these through. Now it's going to be very difficult to see on camera, so I'm going to show you essentially what we're trying to do underneath in the back here. So when you run this seat strap from front to back on the seat, you want to try to run it through these loops. That's going to anchor the seat down and keep it from moving side to side on you. Now, the way you're going to do that is by putting these through, like I said, pulling them all the way down, and then running the strap through underneath. Now, the success of this kind of depends on what you've got underneath your seat. Basic seats, this is a whole lot easier, but if you have a seat that is electric, has heat or cooling or anything like that, there's going to be a lot of wiring and electronics down there that might not make this work too well. I have found success that even if you don't get this pulled all the way through and this underneath, if you get these tucked in enough to where this knot kind of anchors in the molding, because some of these are pretty tight fit, they're generally still going to do a really good job of staying in place, especially because of this kind of tackier backing with these little silicone beads. They do a really good job of keeping it in place already. So that's really an idea of what's going to go on under there. I'll try to describe it as best I can, but again, it's very, very difficult to actually see on camera. So the first thing I'm going to do is undo those front and back straps. And then we're going to orient our seat cover to where it needs to go. So you'll find this tag that's going to be on the back end of it. Take the two straps that we're going to run through the back. Kind of get our seat cover in place. We're going to feed these through the seat seam and out the bottom the same way that we did with those anchors on our seat back. So we'll get those pushed all the way through. Try to do it in a way that they don't get twisted. And once those are through, we're going to go around to the back seat and pull on them to get them snug. Now I'm going to go ahead and feed these in here through this plastic molding on the side. We get it tucked in there as best I can. Again, this is a really tight fit, which is why that zip tie is kind of necessary to make sure that you can get this tucked in the way we want to. And I'm going to do that on both sides as best as that I can. So the next thing we'll do after we get those fed through, again, really kind of as best you can, I could really only get it into the front two loops on this, mainly because of the sliding brackets that we've got on these seats. It just didn't come through really well enough, in my opinion. I don't want to end up getting it snagged on anything either, so it's better that I just kind of leave them out of it for now. Now what I'm going to do is take my front strap with the clip here, reach underneath and grab the attachment for the strap that's directly behind it. I'm going to make that connection, and then I'm going to pull this tight. Now, when I'm doing this in a way to make sure that I'm not running this through any kind of wires or anything like that. That's really important that I not pinch any of those functions that are underneath here. In fact, I just tightened this up and realized that there was a wire it was running around that I didn't see before, so I'm just gonna run it over that wiring harness and reattach it. Now it's just going right around the seat frame, not against any wiring at all. I'm just going to take the excess from the strap after tightening it and tuck it underneath. Then I'm just going to do the same process over here with the other strap. Now, again, this strap I was able to run through the elastic loop that's underneath, and it's going to keep my front corner looking really nice in here. Get that cinched up. And once that's done, our seat cover is installed. Now it'll be time for the headrest cover, which is really just an elastic piece that we're just going to slide over our headrest. Now, again, this headrest is a little big, so this is a tight fit, but it's pretty malleable. I can work it down, just kind of shuffle this around a little bit. Now, I am going to be covering up the button that's going to raise and lower this, but this is a really thin piece of fabric on the side. You're going to be able to use it just fine, you just aren't able to see it. So as I'm getting this around, one thing I'm noticing is that it comes up a little bit short on the front side, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of slack back here in the back. It's going to allow me to tuck it all the way underneath in the front. Just like that. Now at this point, again, I can access this button and put it right down into place. And the last thing that we're going to do in our installation then is reattach our factory clips, followed by this little hook clip that came on the back of our backrest seat cover. So I'm going to reattach these in their original anchor positions, with the factory ones attached back to their anchor points. And again, they're a little bit of a goofy clip, so you might need to get a light and get under there and see where you're putting them. The clip that came on our seat covers is much smaller. It's a lot easier just to find a good spot, a small spot to just anchor it into. There's plenty of places under here that you can do it. We just want to make sure that it's not attaching to any wires or anything loose. But once you've got that set, your installation is complete. So that's a look at the installation of our semi-custom seat covers from Seat Cover Solutions in our 2026 Chevy Equinox. Now, if after watching this video you still have some questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We would love to answer those for you. It's going to help out you and other neighbors just like you make the best decision for yourself. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.